Okay. So many blessings. I actually say that to myself a lot. You can imagine in my world where I'm communicating with people all over the world, I send a lot of emails out. So the way I close every one of my emails looks like that. And you know, it is, and I like that I'm saying to the person that I'm writing to that there are so many blessings, but I really do it for me. I do it to remind myself that life's filled with blessings, and it's my job to know that and live that. And then life happens. Yeah. Most of you know what happened here about 3 weeks ago, about how we had a break-in, and I was not here. Let's go ahead and go back to that. I was not here. I was in Golden performing my duties as president. And on Tuesday morning, early, Barbara called me and said that we had a break-in. And my biggest challenge in all of that is that I was not here to help, but Barbara being Barbara, she, stood straight and tall and handled it. She called the police. She called the insurance company. She called Charlie and Chuck and Rick and said, please come over here and help us clean all this mess up, because it was quite a mess. And I had my week at work, and we stayed in touch, but really I didn't touch anything that week. So when I got home on Saturday and walked around, everything was in perfect order. It's like nothing had happened. Yes, they've gotten into our secure area and taken our Sunday offering, and that's a real issue. And we had not counted the cash in that, and all the checks were gone. A lot of good that does. So we had all that busyness of that week of people putting a stop payment on their checks, and then calls to people because we had some checks and we didn't have others, and it was just one of those chaotic weeks. But by the time I got home, it was pretty well cleaned up. A couple of times when I first got home, Barbara held up her cell phone and said, do you want to see the pictures of the break-in? And I said, no, I do not. I do not want that in my consciousness. It seemed so appropriate at the time. So the next Sunday, we of course were here. We had a lovely Sunday, and we decided not to leave the money in the secured area because we didn't have our security system yet, our alarm system. So we carried it home with us. But we left all our computers and all our electronics here, and apparently their second round was for that. So they came in and took all that. And I'm the one that found it. I came in about 7 a.m., walked upstairs, hadn't noticed that there were broken windows in the social hall, but walked upstairs and turned the corner and saw locks and wood everywhere. So much for not bringing it into my consciousness. So when is there anybody here that has never felt in their life that they've ever been violated in any way by rudeness or disrespect or no hands, huh? Okay, well there you go. This is a natural human condition. It seems pervasive in being human on planet Earth that we get violated, at least to our understanding. And sometimes it's violent. And even though nobody got hurt in this, one of the people that broke into the building got a little hurt because they cut themselves on the glass. But I don't think they're going to file anything with our insurance. And all the police, and all of the fingerprints, and all of the work, and all of the mess. And the police are wonderful to come in and take fingerprints, but they leave such a nasty black mess everywhere, which you got to clean up too. So there's all this cleanup going on and everything, and thank you everybody who came and helped with that, because we seem to get it back to where it belonged. We have a security system. We were probably naive, but for 20 years we just didn't think much about it, and we just did what we do, and we felt safe. And often we didn't lock our doors, but now every time I touch a door in my house, it's locked. And that's just the way it has to be now, the loss of innocence of some sort. But there are questions that come up in all of this. And you know when something's happened to you, and especially when something's happened to you and then it happens again, or something like it happens again, you start really questioning yourself. What do you ask yourself? Probably something that looks a lot like this. What's in my consciousness that keeps causing this to happen? What's in our consciousness that keeps causing this to happen? Well, don't let it be lost on you the type style I used here. That's a very immature question. It's built out of the fact that something must be wrong and that we must have made a mistake and something has to be fixed. Well, you know, things had to be fixed. That's true. But I think if we go down this, it's like going down a rabbit hole. You're really just looking for problems. And if you put all your attention on looking for problems, I guarantee the universe will give you problems. You'll have lots of things to complain about, worry about, be upset about. So that doesn't really work. There are better questions. There's different ways to approach this. It's not natural. The natural thing to do is to feel lost in it all. But there are questions that can take us to a place we want to go. So that's what I want to look at first. I want to consider a couple of questions. What can I learn about myself, about me, from what has happened here? Well, now you got a choice. You're going to learn something about yourself, and I think it's really important to always do that, because when I first started asking this question, it was, what can you learn from this thing you're telling me about, person, about that you're not happy about in your life? And the finger comes up and starts heading out to something. No, 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 no. That's not where your learning is. Your learning's happening at the point of you. It's happening at the point of me. Don't be looking out there. That's not the answer. Because if you're looking out there, then what you're claiming is, I'm a victim. They did it to me. And for all intents and purposes, in a normal secular conversation, it sure looks like that. It looks like people came and took our stuff. But if we go to that, then we're in that drama triangle. Then we're saying that we got a perpetrator involved here, that we're the victim, and we need a rescuer. We've been working with the Asheville Police Department. This is not CSI, folks. They're good people, but they cannot do what you see on TV. In fact, most of the answers they give you come directly out of, we are not CSI. So, they actually did lift some fingerprints, and they do have other information that tells them who did this. However, they don't have fingerprints on this person. So they thought maybe they'd ask the county if they had fingerprints on this person. Nope. But they found this person had been arrested over in Tennessee, and that somewhere in Tennessee a police department is mailing fingerprints to Asheville. That's the level we're dealing with here. So if you go into the triangle and you think the police are your rescuer, you're lost. You're lost. So don't go that way. It is a choice with this question is to decide whether you want to be a victim or a powerful spiritual being. I choose powerful spiritual being. Even in the midst of what looks like something being done to us, I choose being a powerful spiritual being. That's rising above the conditions and knowing the truth. Yay. The other question, where's God? Now that's not a complaint. It's like, where was God when this happened? No, no, no. It's God's here. Because we believe that God is in the midst of everything. There is nothing that is happening that doesn't include the divine. So where is it? I can't see it. I need to see it. I want to see it. It's my job to see it. So that's what I got to do. I got to find God in this. What do I do? How do I do that? It's not happening at the police department. We have a lovely church mutual insurance policy, but it's not happening at the insurance company. You know, we're experts now on our insurance policy. We know that we have a $1,000 deduction, not just for that first one, but when they came back. So we have $2,000 to deduct from everything that was taken and such that we can figure out. But they're good people and they're working with us and we're moving through it. Where is God? That's the question. So, after the first break-in, Barbara got a call from one of our colleagues. There was a time, when did we come into the organization? In 2000, 15 years ago. We're 20 years old. Our first 5 years, we were an independent center. And somehow, without really trying, we ended up back in the organization of Ernest Holmes. It has been a good thing. Barbara said to me, you don't know what you're missing until you have colleagues that love you. David Alt, our friend in Atlanta, called, reminded Barbara that, that his center in Atlanta had been broken into last year. Another colleague in Atlanta, Tony Crapaluccio, something like that. Don't get caught up in the crap too much. Wonderful Italian guy, high energy, wonderful. He called David and said, David, I want to put something on the minister's Google group about what's happened. And David's going, no, I don't want him to think I'm a victim or something wrong. He said, I don't care. He wouldn't listen. He said, I'm doing it anyway. And he put this lovely notice up about how the Atlanta church had lost their Sunday offering. They'd lost everything because someone broke it and took it. David said that the response that came was amazing and that he was deeply moved by that. And he said, Barbara, I want to do that for you. So Barbara said, let me talk to John. She called me and goes, how do you tell him no? It's like denying you're good. We're not looking for anything from any of our colleagues or other ministries. We're self-sufficient. We can do this. But how do you tell him no? It's like denying what's someone loving you. So, no, don't love me. Don't love me. So he did. And it was a lovely thing that he put up. And he related his experience with his. And ministers began responding with emails saying they were holding us in treatment and surrounding us in love, and that they knew that we were safe. And it was just as sweet and wonderful as could be. Then a check came from David's church for $500. You remember, the last couple of years we've sent David money to build his schools in Cambodia. So this was a lovely gesture back. And then some other things came in the mail, cards from ministers with $50 checks or $100 checks. And it was just this sweet, wonderful experience of connecting with our colleagues around the country. And then there was this one that came. Hi, John Barbara. Thank you for letting us know of your situation. Well, we didn't, David did. We at the Sanctuary for Spiritual Living have also had break-ins, which have created physical damage for our church. Fortunately, we never lost a deposit. At our board meeting last night, when we were talking about who to gift our tithe to, I told them first about the great service that John has given as president of Centers for Spiritual Living, and the great gifts of Barbara to the Ministers' Council. Then I let them know about the break-ins. It was without hesitation and unanimous that we are sending our tithe this week to Asheville. I will be making a check out after the last Sunday of the month. It is given because you are both first giving to CSL and therefore to us. We appreciate all that you have done over the years. Please know that it is our turn to keep you and your center in prayer. We have 30 practitioners knowing with me right now that all that it has appeared to be lost is restored with love abounding. Love, Reverend Chris Collins, Sanctuary for Spiritual Living, Covina, California. Isn't that lovely? So the blessing's showing up. And I really believe that the blessing is showing up because we are choosing to see this in a way that works. We are not victims. We are loving members of an international network of seekers and finders who are using the science of mind to change their lives. We're connected at the heart. We love one another. We work with one another. We support one another. And it's working. It's absolutely working. So this that we're experiencing here, it's the last time you're going to hear from me about it up on this stage, unless something else really wonderful happens and I get to tell you. But the idea of who we are and how we live our lives is growing stronger because of what happened, because something that looked incredibly unfortunate happened that allowed us to remember who we are. It allowed us to remember not just who we here are, but who we are in this thing called science of mind around the world. We're demonstrating that we say that we believe. We're practicing it. We're doing it well. I took a quote from Kate's Prac 2 paper that I read last week, and I want to share it with you. It's an Ernest Holmes quote. You remember? In order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. In order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter our thought which will weaken our conviction. When we allow something to weaken our conviction that God is all there is, that we are the creators of our experience, when we feel in any way victimized by anything, no matter what the facts may suggest, we weaken ourselves. We weaken our ability to see the truth of who we are. And Holmes is giving us that formula, that if we are to have faith in the divine that dwells within us, if that is who we are, then we must live our lives accordingly. We must be vigilant in believing and knowing the truth. This is our work. No matter what circumstances and situations look like, it doesn't matter. We must know the truth and allow the truth of who we are to stand forward in everything that we do. Did we create the break-ins? Yes, we did. Barbara and I did. We bought this property. It's down in a hollow. It's hidden away. It's easy for someone to come in here and not be seen. Okay, we did that. We didn't put in an alarm system for 20 years. Yeah, we didn't do that. That's right. And all it took was one guy to gather up maybe some other people with him and come over here and break in a couple of times. We were complicit, but we're not blamed for that. We are making our corrections, and we are remembering who we are. And we feel better about who we are today than we did before this happened. Yeah! If you look through history and point out the greatest personalities and individuals that seem to have lived on this planet, they are people that moved through adversity. They are people that rose above conditions. I don't know whether you're talking about Gandhi or Churchill or anyone else on the planet. They rose above the conditions they were presented with and came through it to a better place. That's who we are. That's how we're doing this work. That's how we're learning from life no matter what happens. That's the truth. So I want to invite you for a moment to be with me in the blessings. I want to invite you to close your eyes. Oh, yeah, we'll do this afterwards, but I want to do this nonetheless. I want you to know with me that God is the presence that is greater than any circumstance or situation in your life. I want you to know that God is the generosity and loving kindness of all your friends and all your colleagues. I want you to know that there is God in the clarity of consciousness that you have right now. No matter what happens, that you can rely on in any moment. I want you to know that God is in the strength and the fortitude of this amazing community and in you. That's the truth of who you are. Let that guide you, no matter what. And when you're ready, look at the pretty pictures of the clearing we did here this week. We made an altar out in the of flowers. And all those flowers were off this land. It was lovely. We sprinkled Himalayan salt all over the building, which Rick had to vacuum up. We smudged with all kinds of essences and things, and it was lovely. Here's Barbara doing prayers with smudge in here, and I'm in the hallway sprinkling salt everywhere. There's Lissa and Lynn smudging in different parts of the building. We just kind of reclaimed it. The energy was so lovely and light after we did that. You know, that's who we are. We claim our space. We make life work. No matter what, it works. Yeah. So we have much to be grateful for. We are filled with blessings. Know with me that's a safe place. Know with me that that is a place where lives are changed for the better. And no one can ever change that. That's what this place is. It's a blessing in my life. It's a blessing in your life. And because of everything that happens, with God in the midst of it, we get to know that better and better. I love you so much. Thank you. God bless you.